I have to confess, I was wondering if I missed Rich, that I may have kept on going and didn't notice it in the bulletin. And he came up to community and said, no, you still have time. So, Richard Kearney.
If you missed it, I would have had to do that thing, woo woo. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Richard Kearney, and I've been serving as treasurer of the parish since the annual meeting in February. And in this capacity, I'm very fortunate to work with a dedicated group of people, including our assistant treasurer, Donna Gerhardt, the members of the Counters Guild, Amy, Carol, Elizabeth, Joan, Mike, and the members of the Finance Committee, including Ann, Howard, Joan, and Perry. Of course, I also work closely with the vestry, reporting to them on a monthly basis and implementing the policies they adopt with respect to parish finances. We try to make this a very transparent thing, so our monthly reports are also posted on the cork board. That's to the left when you enter the parish hall. I know it's not the most stimulating reading. So today I'm here to report to you so as to give you a sense of our finances and how these relate to our mission and ministries here at St. Mark's. I've distributed to you, through our ushers, a summary of the current operating budget for 2023. That's this sheet right here, represented as a couple of pie charts. This is actually the revised budget that was adopted by the vestry during the summer. It's just tweaked from what was approved at the beginning of the year. Now, the chart at the top of the page illustrates the distribution of our expenditures by broad ministry categories, while the chart at the bottom of the page illustrates the sources of our income organized into basic categories. And it's instructive to look at every once in a while. So let's first take a look at the top of the page. I think it's helpful and makes sense to think of our operating expenditures in terms of the many ministries that they support. Indeed, it is accurate to say that our budget is really all about ministry. It's all about what we do. Some of our expenditure categories are easy to associate with specific ministries, particularly things like worship, music, outreach, hospitality, education. But it's also quite true to say that the money we spend for administration, buildings and grounds, and even debt service is absolutely essential in making possible what we are able to do here. Those things create the enabling conditions, if you will. In just the last few days, for example, our building was used to host a meeting of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, a community concert by the Reggie Pittman Combo, a meeting of the support group, Alcoholics Anonymous, a funeral for a member of the community, a session of the Math Adventures and Wordplay Community Education Program, and probably some other things that I'm missing. And that's just since Thursday. We got a lot more coming up this week, including Caribbean night. You're going to be there. You want to be there. Now, not surprisingly, the extent of activity in this place is inspiring to our members and to our visitors and our guests. And we want to do more. And we can. You might notice that quite a few ministries are collected together in that little kind of blue-colored slice of the pie that represents just 1% of our budgeted expenditures this year. That includes formation, hospitality, programs, education. Can we increase that slice of the pie by expanding our work in these important areas of ministry? Yes, of course we can. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't note that our operating budget, like most operating budgets, does not include the special projects that we undertake most years through fundraising efforts that pass through what we call restricted funds. We call these funds restricted because they are specially earmarked for specific purposes aligned with the intent of our donors. Just look around this sanctuary room, and you can see several examples of such projects that have been carried out in recent years. For example, that organ that George is playing, the critical preservation work that was done on our stained glass windows, which are beautiful and which we hope to have for many years to come. The audiovisual equipment that we now have to live stream worship services right there near the front door. And the new choir robes that our choir began wearing just a few weeks ago. Those are just the things that are visible in the sanctuary. Let us not forget the very important work done on the drainage system on the south side of the building and the air conditioning that we now enjoy in Carroll Hall. These are all important to your good work. And we've got more projects coming up. We've got that screening going on this morning after the service, which I hope everyone will attend. If you spend any time in the parish hall, I'm going to invite you to go take a look at our tables and our moving partition walls. They're in horrible shape. I mean, I'm surprised that they're still holding together and haven't collapsed. And you know what? I couldn't be happier about that. That's wonderful, because that means that they've been used, and used a lot. Raise your hand if you've ever folded up one of those tables. Raise your hand if you've ever folded up those tables 25 times in a year. People at Math Adventures do it every week. I do it every month for the Lions Den. And it's great. How sad it would be if 20 years after we got them, they were in pristine shape and we didn't need to do anything. They're a testimony to the life of this parish, and it's wonderful. Now, like any organization that's engaged in so much ministry work, our parish seeks to undertake responsible planning. The leadership of St. Mark's, and particularly our vestry, which has a special fiduciary responsibility, must look to our operating budget each year when considering where, how to devote resources to specific ministries. And in about a month, it'll be time for the vestry to consider the budget for 2024. Now this is where the chart at the bottom of the page becomes a major focus. Now, the most obvious thing about the income chart is the fact that over 75% of our operating income is based on annual pledge commitments, topped off by additional non-restricted donations and gifts that we receive from pledging members, from non-pledging members, and from visitors. And this is clearly significant. It also points to the way that pledges are connected to ministries here. Because both represent, and I'll use that term again, commitments. Yes, the specifics of each will vary over time. I'm not getting into that level of detail. Specific ministries, for example, will go through periods of introduction, expansion, contraction, cessation, and the same can be said of pledges. But It is the fact of commitment over time that makes planning possible. Embracing the mission of the church and then living by that mission, engaging in ministry, is what makes this parish a place where people experience the presence of God. And here, I'm not just talking about the members of the parish, but also the many people who visit this place or who you encounter far beyond this patch of land in those moments when you bring with you that which you receive here and share it with others. So, in this stewardship season, I want to invite you to affirm or reaffirm your commitment to the mission of St. Mark's. Without your commitment of time, talent, and treasure, without your spirit and your energy and your living faith, this is just a building. That's all it is. With your commitment, this is and will remain a vibrant place, capable of transforming all of us and all those we serve and hope to serve for the better. Is this not what we are called to do? Thank you.